everyone. In this video we're going to look at two ways that we can express the concentration of a solution. So at this point we've talked about what's a solution, why solutions are homogeneous, heterogeneous, and their interactions. Now we're going to look at sort of the calculation part of this scheme of videos here. And we're looking at the concentration. So most all of us have used this word before. We know if something's more concentrated to us, maybe it's your sweet tea. It's more, it's got more sugar in it, so it's more concentrated. So however you've used that term, but that's what we're thinking about. We're thinking about how much solute, remember that's what's present in the smallest amount, is dissolved in a solution. So we have different ways that we can describe this, all right? And so one way is by using a percentage. So remember, if we use a percentage, all that means is we have part over whole times 100, okay? And the first unit that we're going to look at is weight volume, percent concentration. So your answer is going to be a percentage. If it's weight volume, that means we're going to need units of grams and volume in milliliters. Okay, so the key here is knowing your formula and knowing your units. Okay, so we're going to take grams of the solute present in the smallest amount over volume of the solution times 100, and that gives us a weight volume percentage. So real simple example here. Vinegar contains 5 grams of acetic acid in 100 milliliters of solution. So what is the weight volume percent? So we take 5 grams, that's our solute, our mass, over 100 milliliters times 100, and we have a 5% acetic acid solution. So that's a typical anywhere from 3 to 5%. When you go buy vinegar at the store, it's got about 5% acetic acid in it. Okay, we can do a very similar calculation, just a different unit. That's all this is here. We can do volume. So if we have two liquids and we want to know the concentration, okay, so we can take the volume of the solute and the volume of the solution. So the difference here is that the solute is a liquid instead of a solid. In the previous example we had mass, we used grams. Okay, so we have a volume and a volume. So if we have an example, in a bottle of rubbing alcohol, most all of us have this in our cabinet at home, it contains 70 milliliters of 2-propanol. Okay, it's one of its main ingredients there, in 100 milliliters. So in your 100 milliliter bottle at home, it has 70 milliliters of 2-propanol. Okay, if you take 70 divided by 100 times, or divided by 100 times 100, you get 70% volume percent concentration. Okay, so through the course of all of these videos, and we have used formulas straightforward, just as we have seen here. We plugged in our numerator, denominator, times 100, get our answer. Okay. Students often can do these relatively easy and no problem. But when they come across a problem where they're, instead of being given the volume and the volume here, they're given the percentage and asked to find the other. So basically you are being asked to rearrange the equation. So don't forget that when you look at either of these equations, you have really 3 variables, right? You have your percent, you have your volume of solute, volume of solution. So if you're given 2 of these 3, you can always solve for the other one, okay? So don't forget that. We can always rearrange these equations just depending on what we're given. So you will see this problem somewhere else again. I can't remember if I pulled it from a test or homework, okay, but this is what I'm talking about. So here we're given that the wine bottle contains 11.2% volume of ethanol. All right. So if we think about our equation here, we want to know what is the volume of the ethanol. We know it's 11.2%, but we want to know the volume of our solute, which is ethanol. And the whole bottle is 750 milliliters. So look here, if you want to just call this X, you know two of the three, okay, variables. Now remember, this is times 100. So what I do is I go ahead and move my decimal back, okay? Some of you will get the wrong answer if you don't do that. So move your decimal back 2 places to account for that 100%, right? Okay, and then we solve for X. So we have to we multiply 750 times 0.112, and our answer is 84.0 milliliters of ethanol. Also, check your answer. Plug in 84 divided by 750 times 100, and you should get 11.2. Alright, so that's a great way. Always go back and check yourself and make sure that you didn't make a small mistake. Alright, thank you.